It's been a year since I've started recording my YouTube videos. Great journey so far, great audience. So I'm very thankful for that, but I noticed a pattern. Some of the questions are repeating over and over in the comments. So in order to address this, I've created this video, frequently asked questions, and also some of the coolest, most interesting things that people asked me. Oh yes, and one more thing. The video about the company that I'm working for right now is coming up very soon. I'm still working on bits and pieces, getting all the approvals, footage that I need. So yeah, stick around for that, subscribe to be, informed when the thing happens. And yeah, enjoy. Let's jump into the questions that you guys had. Brooks says, I'm taking the 10th grade in programming and I'm undecided when the 12th grade is over. What am I going to do? Whether I should continue programming or go to cybersecurity? What would you advise me? Well, this question is actually coming up very often. People ask me what they should do in their particular case. I cannot tell you because people are different. They want different things. Only you know yourself, and based on that, just make a decision. If you think you actually need this kind of advice and want to work on things that you're lacking, maybe it's a good idea to pay somebody to actually consult you, like spend hour to 5 with you and work on the things that you're missing and then move on. You need to figure it out for yourself. Any advice for someone wanting to get into the industry without a degree? Would you say it's possible to get a decent paying job? Yes. I'm actually doing it, and I've seen it done over and over and over across my career. So you can make a pretty good living. Sometimes you may need to move around the world to get the job that you want, just because other people with education have more skills than you. It's simple. If you studied something long enough, you are more skilled than somebody who didn't. Employers don't really care that much if you have a degree or not. They are interested if you can do stuff. It's not that hard, but believe me, it's easier if you have a degree. What language you are working on usually? That is a very common question. Which is interesting. Me, myself, I worked with many languages. I worked with C#, PHP, C++, Java. These are the 4 main languages that I went through, but also the entire web stack. So JavaScript, React, HTML, CSS, Sass, whatever. And also things like scripted languages like Lua, like Bash, like Ruby and others. So there's many tools that I've worked through, but eventually you just, realize that these are just tools which just happen to be used in the project. One project uses this, the other uses that. Each different tool is better for each different problem. And you just take a book, read it, and it will be easier for you to understand the more languages you know. You're good to go. Any language won't be a problem for you. Cesar de Cal asks, curious if you were walked out when you put in your notice. In my case, I just left the laptop at my manager's desk after I was done with the work for the day. Nobody was there to, escort me. My manager wasn't even at the office. He was, having a day off. Good for him. He doesn't have to worry about stuff. If you have people that you trust, that's what you do. You don't put yourself in a position that somebody would like to walk you out just to be sure that you won't ruin stuff along the way. And yeah, you may have seen it in my Goodbye Amazon video. I left on good terms. I like all of these people, and it would be awesome to work with them someday again. Just I found something that is more appropriate for me right now. Kay asks, how much do you make? I make it all. If you think it's appropriate to ask this sort of question, leave your name, address, and your salary down in the comment. I challenge you to that. But I get it. What you're actually after is not how much I personally make, but you want to know how much money does a developer on this particular position, on this particular company, on this particular country make. Listen, You don't need to ask people on YouTube for that. If you're interested for any company, there is this website called Glassdoor. You can go over there and just type in whatever information you need on the salaries, available position, and what are the opinions on this company. Just go there, check it out. Most of it is true, I think. Good? Good. Okay, don't ask me this question again. Go Glassdoor. Brady Parker asks, how you got job at Amazon? I just sent my resume, my CV over, and it got reviewed. I had some good projects on my CV, a lot of different small things that I've done, and a really good bullet points that indicated how I performed in my previous job. One of them was, for example, I was awarded a key contributor award in Ericsson on level high, which is a, well, pretty good, achievement that doesn't happen to everybody. So I sent it over. I got invited to participate in online test. I did that. Then there was phone call, and then I was flown over for on-site. I also did that, and then I was, basically given an offer. Not exactly the offer I wanted, but a good enough offer. That was it. How do you manage work-life balance? That's a difficult one, right? That's a difficult one. I just do what is in my contract. That's what I agreed on. That's what we signed the paper for. I get paid according to my contract, and I get to do work according to my contract. I don't do overtime that is unpaid. That's not what we agree on. Every now and then, you need to give an extra 10-20%. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes things go bad and then you stay and then you work extra. But that is sometimes. If you have a life-work balance that is not balanced, you need to fix it. And I find that this usually comes from your peers rather than the company. I don't know what to say. I don't agree to that. I don't have this problem. How to deal with pressure and high expectations from employers? More or less, I kind of answered that. Just don't do stuff that you cannot do. And if they pressure you, well, either, figure out what the reason is, talk to them, or find a new job. Yeah, or maybe the reason is good. Maybe you're not delivering up to the standard that is, across the company. Maybe you need to get better. I cannot tell exactly what may be the problem, but what I found is if you don't have the time and the support that you need, your work quality will suffer. And that will actually mean more tickets, more bugs in your code, and more work overall. So be wary, just plan better. How much was your salary at Amazon, and was it enough to live in London? I kind of answered that, but to be fair, cost of living in London is insane. It's insane. If you want to live in London, be prepared for some trade-offs. Some people live with roommates. Others rent a very small house. Others commute for an hour and a half. It's very, very tight budget, to be honest. Mohammed Nabavi asks, sharing your work at Amazon, is that okay? Yes, it's okay to share stuff from Amazon outside of the work. It's stated like that in social media policy that Amazon has, that they are okay with you publishing photos or blogging or having a podcast about what happens and how it happens in Amazon, as long as you don't disclose any confidential information, don't record people that don't want to be recorded. And what else? Oh, you know that if you disclose stuff that could harm your company, it's also harming you because you work there. Also, what helps is just ask for a permission. That's what I did. I got a permission from my manager, my skip level manager, and also reached out to the PR people in Amazon. They all said, fine, just, don't get us in trouble. And that's what you do. You just ask. It's that simple. Moving on. How did you learn programming? I just done bootcamp and I still feel like I don't know much. So I learned programming at a very young age. I got my first PC when I was 9, and back then there wasn't much to do on your PC unless you had tons and tons of games. There was no internet or stuff like that. So one day my aunt visited us and she had some discs with Pascal on it. And she needed to do some, assignments for her course for her job. So she installed the thing on my computer, did her stuff, and left it. And then I was like interested, what the hell is this? What does it do? Oh, you can code stuff in it. And by trial and error, I learned what each single thing does. I have no idea how I did it. I think she explained just the very, very basics of it. And from there, I just discovered everything on my own. And it never stopped. And that's actually not a question, but Lou Sims says, so you do nothing all day. Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. I do nothing. I get paid tons of money, and all I do is sleep, eat, and repeat. If I could share confidential stuff, like show you the actual code, or me working or discussing meetings and actual problems that we are solving as a software developers, I would be out of the job. You don't disclose intellectual property. Quite frankly, it's a lot of work to blur out the screens, especially if you are moving the camera around the office. So yeah, not showing that, sorry. Sean Fitzpatrick asks, is it easy to switch which type of development you do, or are you locked into one type? Of course, this is not easy to switch from one technology to another, but to be fair, that's not something that's impossible. If you manage to learn one software developing language or tech, you will manage to learn a second one. It won't take as much time as learning the first. It will be easier because you understand the grounding rules that govern, the whole thing. But to be frank, it's a total different perspective to write in JavaScript than to write in C++ or other low-level language. You need to embrace it, and you need to be open-minded if you want to actually be proficient in something. And if you're ready for that, you will be prosperous. I'm an intern at Amazon in London in the summer. What is your advice for securing the job offer? Asks Gideon Catton. Well, congratulations! That's not an easy thing to get, an internship in Amazon. If you're interested about that, I recommend watching this video with Jay, who was my intern, as in I was his mentor. What I would actually recommend in terms of securing the job offer is do a good job. I know it's kind of trivial and doesn't give you much value, but this is essentially what you are, graded for. People that work with you will give you feedback based on how you performed. Did they like working with you? Because that's also important. And at the same time, deliver whatever you've been tasked with. If you have to deliver just bare scaffolding, just bare minimal value product, deliver that and make it quality code. Make it easy for yourself to come up with good code reviews, the good commits that you will then put on the final report about your internship. And even if you don't get a job offer, internship at Amazon is still very valuable, and you will learn a great lot. That's value in itself. Good luck getting a job offer, and yeah, I'll see you in London. Your average programmer asks, what got you into web development? I was actually interested in web development during my secondary school. So I was 14, I guess, back then. And we had a lot of fun with discovering internet back then, because that was a thing that only started developing, at least in Poland where I lived. I was interested in HTML and learning how web development works. And eventually I wanted to build more advanced things that actually user could interact with. I was always fascinated by contraptions that allow you to do stuff and then you will get some sort of response from it. That's more or less how I did it. I just started learning when I felt that this is a cool thing. Ixa says, I got excited after watching your work day at Amazon that you had a full-featured language tutorial. I was hoping for C++. But that wasn't the case. Maybe it can be. Any plans on future videos? That's actually interesting. I don't know if a full-featured C++ course is a good thing to do. Spend hours and hours for something that maybe 60 or 100 people will see. What I would rather imagine doing is coming up with well, big course that you can actually, maybe buy and like to go over every single thing from beginning to an end, that would say be like, I don't know, 3, 5, 10 hours long. I don't know if that's a good idea. What do you guys think? Would you be interested in, buying course about C++ or other language? Tell me. If you guys are into that, if you think that's something that you would be interested in, drop a comment. I'll definitely think about it. This is what I have for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, if you want to ask something else, drop it down in the comment. If you're interested in, software development, working in IT, and everything that is related with it. So yeah, don't hesitate, click that bell, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers.